I'm Chief Meteorologist T.J. Shuck in the ABC 36 Weather Center here with meteorologist Jordan Smith and meteorologist Dylan Godet already in. Of course, we've been keeping an eye on all the strong storms moving now into the metro area and basically running just to the west of I-75. One that we're really keeping an eye on is down here in between Camp Nelson and Bryantsville, right there along US 27 as you hit southern Jessamine County and the northern part of Garrett County. You see our skit data there indicating, again, some hail out of this where you see the pink, but it has been showing some signs at least of some rotation, even though we just have the severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Madison County and into Garrett County as well. But some of the areas that are going to be impacted by this here over the next half hour or so. Again, Camp Nelson here within the next few minutes, and then up toward East Jessamine, and then areas off to the northeast there, Red House in northern Madison County, that's at 125, and we're getting some heavier rain here at the ABC 36 studio. But there's your warning, southern part of Jessamine County until 1:30, same thing for Madison County, and then over into Garrett County as well. We'll take you a little bit farther to the south here. We've got additional warnings, and it's one of these cases where the Weather Service is kind of getting out ahead of the game, as it has all evening long, and we had that with the activity that moved through early in mid-afternoon. Even though the line is all the way back running into eastern Adair and through Clinton County, we've already got severe thunderstorm warnings out for Wayne County, also for the southern part of Pulaski County and southwestern Laurel. 145. So this stuff's not moving too terribly fast, but nevertheless, the leading edge of this, and we have, knock on wood, yet to see anything in the way of any tornado warnings, but we have those little is going to be moving eastward, so mainly just heavy rain. And the other part of it is this torrential rain on top of what we had earlier today, that could create some flash flooding issues. We mentioned that over the last 3 or 4 days leading up to today, in addition to the tornado threat, the damaging wind threat, especially with the torrential rain that we had earlier this afternoon. Any of this, it's not, again, moving overly fast. That could actually create a few issues here and there, because look back to the west, even beyond the leading edge of this, and once what's left of this jagged squall line of storms moves eastward, overall the severe threat's going to wind down. I think at least here in Lexington westward, we're in pretty good shape as far as the damaging winds and any possible isolated tornadoes spin up. But you look back to Lawrenceburg, Frankfort, Shelbyville, and out the Bluegrass Parkway, and it is just a moderate to heavy rain, and that's problematic. You see the bit of green, so this is the area. So Gatliff, Carpenter, Goins, Rain. So that's right, looks like northeastern Whitley County, southern part of Knox County. So if you're in Wheeler, if you're Davisburg, and down toward Frakes, and then of course, also we mentioned about Pineville and Middlesboro. Now Middlesboro not in it, Pineville not in it. So you're not in it, but that doesn't mean that that possible tornado, which again is off to the east of Williamsburg here, goes until 2:45, so it's only for about 15 minutes. So this thing's moving along. I'll put the reflectivity back on there. So it's right here in this area. Hit the telestrator. So it's just in this general area right here. It's off to the east of Williamsburg. Of course, that's the beauty of the next ride radar, being able to see where the possible rotation is. So that's our rotation detector, and as far as the storm winds, you kind of got a little better view of it. The reds and the greens, anything in green is going toward the radar site, which is actually to the southeast because it's in northeastern Tennessee. Anything in red is going away. There's nothing that's really jumping out, but obviously...
Yeah, there was one radar scan right when it was crossing I-75 where it looked like it was tightening up a little bit, but now lesser.
Yeah. So, and that's what they're going to do. They're going to err on the side of caution. So let's take a look at the 1 hour shear here. And again, usually when there's nothing that jumps out at you, you'll see a few little spots like this. But the current shear on it has shifted it more so to the east. But what Dylan was talking about is the scan when it was back here right over I-75 just to the south of Williamsburg, which is why this area of eastern and southeastern Whitley County and then parts of Bell and extreme southern Knox County, that's why you got the tornado warning for about 15 minutes. So again, some of the areas that could potentially be impacted by this, Gatliff, Frakes, Chenoa, Davisburg, and then farther north, let's see, Rain, Goings, and then over toward Wheeler. Any of those communities, you're in the tornado warning polygon here. You need to be in your safe place. Go to a basement. If you don't have a basement, interior room, lowest level of your home, preferably a closet or a bathroom. You want to put as much real estate between yourself and the outside world. So again, if you don't have a basement, interior room. This scenario, as we said, quick little spin up tornado. They put the warning out just based on a particular scan here, probably a bit of hail. And this is east of Williamsburg and west of Pineville and Middlesboro. So I'll broaden it out here.
Still nothing in terms of any reports or anything, and no update from the National Weather Service.
Yeah, so there's Williamsburg, and here's Pineville and Middlesboro. And here's your warning polygon, which goes from, again, Jellicoe Creek. It goes down to the state line. Ironically, the skit is over into northern Tennessee. But just, again, some torrential rain. I'm sure we got some lightning in there as well. Yeah, it looks like actually the most intense part of it is there through the mountains, up on Jellicoe Mountain, just along and east of I-75, but the possible rotation is getting farther away from Williamsburg, but yet making its way a little bit closer toward Pineville. Middlesboro, it looks like it's probably going to stay off to the north where the possible rotation is. Again, the shear, a little bit here on the east side, and of course it's picking up some down toward Jellicoe, where you see the lightning strikes are plentiful.
Also, I want to ease some nerves for folks in Corbin. I'm getting several messages saying that the tornado sirens are going off in Corbin. I guess it's because that part of Corbin is in Knox County, but this is not impacting Corbin.
Yeah, good thing to point out. Also has some hail in it, but let me put the radar image back on it and then kind of broaden things out so folks can get a lay of the land here. So, as Jordan said, to kind of put your mind at ease. So, if you'll cooperate here. All right. So here's Corbin again. You're good. The severe thunderstorm warning includes Barberville. Now it's kind of on the east side, but again, where Corbin is, a lot of it is in Whitley County, and part of Whitley County, ironically, again, the city of Williamsburg, not in this tornado warning polygon. It's just extreme southern Whitley County, small part of southern Knox County, and then just a bit of western Bell County. So it's a very, very small area. Barberville, you're not in it. Corbin, you're not in it. Williamsburg, you're not in it. In fact, those areas are basically all in the clear now as far as the severe threat. It has pushed east of Barberville. Pineville, you're not yet. In fact, where the possible rotation is actually tracking your way. the guys are monitoring the chat and messages and info and looking at the mesonet, and so far,
yeah,
nothing
even as
has
that
jumped
line
out.
just moved through the Barberville area where we have that Kentucky Mesonet site, the wind gust wasn't very strong. The peak wind gust was only in that 20 to 30 mile an hour range. So that's good news.
Well, and just again to get your bearings, here's Williamsburg. Here's the Kentucky-Tennessee line. You see Jellicoe, you're familiar with that, I-75, La Follette, that is in northern Tennessee there. You see the most intense part of that line is actually on the other side of the border. It's just riding extreme southeastern Whitley County and into far western Bell County, but it really is stretching down into Campbell County in Tennessee and eventually over into Claiborne County, which is there on the other side around Tazewell there, Cumberland Gap, that area. That's where you see all the lightning strikes. It's concentrated there right over Jellicoe Mountain and points to the east. You get up actually where the possible rotation was and is based on where the tornado warning is still ongoing, and you don't have as much in the way of lightning. And when you look at the shear, it's a little more prominent down that way, and there's a couple of skit markers showing up. Let me jump on the one in far southern Whitley County here. The BTI on that's a 3.7, so it's low. It's not even showing any hail out of it, but at least that intense part of this severe line of storms, which has shown some rotation prompting the tornado warning. Some of the areas I mentioned, Cumberland Gap, that's at the top of the hour. 4 Mile, that's at the top of the hour. Pineville as well. And remember, Pineville not in this tornado warning, even though, you know, as Jordan mentioned, getting some messages wondering, folks in Corbin, I'm sure probably Pineville and Middlesboro may be hearing sirens as well.
And we did just get, this is from when the storm moved through Laurel County, but several reports of southern Laurel County with trees down, and then a tree fell on a residence in the Camelot Place area of downtown London.
Which is not surprising, because any of this stuff that's moving across eastern and southern Kentucky, it's had a history of wind damage, and that's the primary concern. An overnight event, middle of the night, as we have literally set the table for this 4 days, and luckily we haven't seen the tornado outbreak that they did in far western Kentucky, but it's these little isolated potential spin-ups.
They are continuing the tornado warning that just came in through, well, at 2:37, excuse me, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Wilkerson, or 12 miles southeast of Williamsburg, moving east at 35 miles per hour.
All right, let's see if we can kind of zoom in or out and get a little more specific. So there's Williamsburg, there's Mountain Ash, Saxon. So of course, again, it is off to the east clearly of Williamsburg. So you're good in that regard, and it does look like there could potentially be maybe, you know, a little bit of broad rotation here in that area right there. It's this area of extreme southeastern Whitley County and into western Bell County is what we're talking about here. I'll put the warning back on. So yeah, they trimmed it off. So I-75, that part of it is not in it. And we're looking at the velocity data here. Let's look at the base and see if there's anything that jumps out. Again, this area right here could potentially be something where you see the red and the green, again, toward the radar green. The radar is down here to the southeast and northeastern Tennessee, and the red, that's going away. And what you look for when you're looking for that radar signature are those colors right next to each other. I'll pop the warning data off and see you can get a little better view of it. Again, there's Williamsburg, and the initial rotation was just right over the interstate, and with the movement and the speed, This is probably the general area, and then when I pop the warning box back on, there it is right in the center. There's Pineville, there's Middlesboro. You're not in the tornado warning polygon, but again, if they decide to extend it eastward, which we got, what, 5 minutes? Goes until, 2:45.
And there is, we'll say, the atmosphere is a little bit more favorable just out ahead
Of that?
Yeah. Temperatures are spiking, dew points are spiking up in the upper 60s.
Well, and you see, there are a few little shear spots with the rotation detector here. So, again, anywhere in this area. So let me pop in a bit closer. So that looks like what, Harpers Creek Road, Alcott, Davisburg, Wheeler. Although Ingram, I see there it is. All right. So with that last scan. Look at that in looks like the Chenoa area, which is probably in western Bell County here. This area is picking up some decent rotation. So this is the area, and again, it is 5 minutes till expiration.
It's like they just extended it until 3 a.m.
Okay, well that makes sense. So it'll pop in here. Yeah, there you go. So Pineville and Middlesboro now in this tornado warning, which goes until the top of the hour for about 20 minutes. And with our rotation detector right here in this area in red, where you see the red, it's picking up on a little bit stronger rotation. So let me go in a little bit closer here and let you know some of the areas that are being impacted by this. So Alcott, Davisburg, the Chenoa area, and then points to the east.
Yeah, Davisburg mentioned at around 2:50 it'll be near you, and then No Town at 2:55.
Yeah, so here it is right here. This is the area that we're concerned with right here in the Chenoa area, where you see that deeper red. That's where the rotation detector is picking up on some circulation. So we may have a brief tornado drop down here into parts of western Bell County. Again, we mentioned Davisburg. So Davisburg, Alcott, you need to be in your safe place right now. Basement, if you don't have a basement, an interior room, lowest level of your home, preferably a closet or a bathroom here. You want to get away from exterior windows and walls. I'm gonna actually zoom out just a little bit. So Middlesboro is in this, even though just based on the rotation detector and the movement of the storm, Pineville and Ferndale and Kettle Island in Bell County, you folks in those areas, you definitely want to be in your safe place because it is moving your direction. The warning goes until the top of the hour, about 15 minutes from now. Let me put the radar data back on it. So the rotation, the circulation is within this cluster of thunderstorms, which is riding right along the Kentucky-Tennessee border. And it looks like they just extended the severe thunderstorm warning points eastward. As you can see the yellow lighting up underneath the red polygon, tornado warning polygon here, Wallens Creek up in Harlan County. So even beyond.
And that has a tornado possible tag.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me kind of zoom out a little bit here so you can get a little bit more of a bird's eye view on it. So hazard, it's to your west. It's talking about the line of thunderstorms here that we have literally been tracking for the last several hours. It's right over Hyden along the Hal Rogers Parkway. Hazard, the severe thunderstorm, you're now under one until 3:30. So central and southern Perry County, including the city of Hazard, over into parts of southern Knott County, and it looks like a little bit of Letcher County, all of Harlan County, and all of Leslie County. Severe thunderstorm warning for another 45 minutes. This is the line that has been pretty intense, rolling across southern Kentucky. Did some damage back around Lake Cumberland, some reports around London, Corbin as well. But Somerset, London, Corbin, Williamsburg, you're all in the clear. Hazard, Harlan, Hyden, it's on top of you, but definitely Hazard, Harlan, and especially the Pineville area and Middlesboro, even though the most intense part of the cell looks like it is going to pass just to the north. But you see this stretching all the way down into northeastern Tennessee. It's east of La Follette, but again, it's this area here just right along the Kentucky-Tennessee border where we have the
looking at some
rotation.
data that we have available to us at StormNet TG that suggesting that the severe wind probability there is over 70 to 80% for Harlan, Pineville, and Middlesboro with this cluster of storms.
Well, again, with it being the middle of the night, nobody's going to be out anyway, but you want to be in your safe shelter. Pineville, Ferndale, Middlesboro, we got the possible rotation here across western Bell County, and that tornado warning until the top of the hour at 3 a.m. for about another 14 minutes here. So yeah, Kettle Island in there as well. Basement's the best place. If you don't have a basement, interior room, lowest level of your home, preferably an interior closet or a bathroom. Get away from exterior windows and walls. But even if we don't have a tornado, the wind damage in and of itself, 60+ mile-per-hour winds, could cause some damage. This thing has a history of producing some wind damage. So anywhere here running from Pineville down through Ferndale to Middlesboro, you definitely want to be in a safe place as we speak. And Clear Creek Springs, East Pineville. Go ahead, Dylan.
Out of Campbell County, Tennessee, which is on the, as you're talking about,
on the
other side, there is a tree down on I-75 there along at mile marker 133. So shows that that line is producing damage.
So where the possible rotation is, it is literally right here where you see that deeper red, just off to the southeast of Davisburg. And as Dylan mentioned, when the Weather Service put out the advisory as far as the positioning of the possible rotation, they mentioned Davisburg. So we have zoomed in closely. So here's Ferndale, which is just to the southeast of Pineville. So it looks like, based on the rotation here, the possible tornado is going to roll, and I think that's US 25E that goes down to Middlesboro between Pineville and Middlesboro. It looks like it's going to head right toward the Ferndale area and the Meldrum community and Colmar. Those three communities and Bringhamtown. If any of those small communities, if you're watching, you need to be in your safe place, because this is where the possible tornado is going to eventually work toward. And it's spread out a little bit, but again, the algorithm is still picking up on some decent rotation, some shear, where you see the green and the red running from west of Ferndale all the way down to, looks like Garmedia, I believe it is, which is just north or just more west of Middlesboro. So this thing basically passing between Pineville and Middlesboro here eventually, coming up over the next probably 5 minutes, as we've got the warning going for about 10.5 minutes until the top of the hour at 3. And let me take the warning box off so you can get a little better view of it here. Now here's the velocity data here, and nothing jumps out, but you see the reds and the greens side by side. And again, the rotation detector has been picking up. I don't know how it looks on other sources,
yeah, it's
guys.
Not as tight as it was.
Yeah. So the 1 hour shear you see back into southern Whitley and into western Bell here. Ferndale, Middlesboro, and then of course Pineville is just kind of hidden by the taskbar there. But the current shear, again, showing it, Ferndale off to the west of Middlesboro. So this is
that
the
would be
area.
where, looking at it on my phone, a little better resolution, that would be where the tightest rotation is at.
Yeah. So if you're in Ferndale, and again, some of these smaller communities there, just off to the south and east, there's Pineville, there's East Pineville, Clear Creek Springs, Ponzo, Calvin, Varilla, Miracle, Ferndale. Any of those smaller communities in Bell County and over toward far western Harlan County, that's where the possible rotation is. We have the ongoing tornado warning for Bell County. Does it clip Harlan County at all a little bit?
No.
No.
So it's just in Bell County. I think it goes all the way up to the Harlan County line. But again, Miracle, TJ as opposed to TG. But yes, TJ, Calvin, as mentioned, and there with the latest scan, right over Ferndale, and then it stretches up through East Pineville. So at this point, it looks like Pineville, it is to your south. It's literally between Pineville and Middlesboro, right over Ferndale and up toward East Pineville, putting the radar data, again, just heavy rain, but within that, you've got some rotation with that in between Pineville and Middlesboro, right around Ferndale. Again, Ponzi, Calvin, Varilla, Miracle, TJ, any of those communities, safe shelter, safe spot. We got about 8 minutes left in the tornado warning, and we'll see if they obviously end up extending it. But that shear is pretty decent compared to what we've seen with some of the other images earlier in the evening.
We got some trees and power lines down on US 25 just south of Barbersville.
Okay, just south of Barberville there. So US 25E back up here. So here's Barberville, so just to the east, because US 25E runs from Corbin to Barberville and then stretches down toward the Pineville area. All right, I'm going to do a quick little reset here back to just kind of show you the bird's eye view on everything, and I want to forget about folks off to the northeast. So clearly you can see the area of concern and concentration, our far southeastern viewing area. I'm showing you Morristown, and that's why it doesn't look like we've got much going on farther north. But I'll switch back over to Jackson just to show you we've got steady rain across central southern Kentucky. Again, London, Williamsburg, Somerset, Moorhead, Mount Sterling, Jackson. You are all in the clear. The areas that are not, Hazard, running down to Harlan and over to Middlesboro, Whitesburg as well. Those are the areas that are not in the clear. It is right, again, right on your doorstep here, Hazard. It's just coming into the northwest side of town, right along 15. It's over Chavies, Wooten there. So Hazard, Viper, Vico, Cornetsville, out toward Carr Creek, Car Fork Lake there. It's going to be coming your way within the next 10, 15 minutes. Torrential rain along the Hal Rogers Parkway, Hyden, Wooten, over to Hazard. So Hazard is going to be on top of you here within the next couple of minutes. Again, severe thunderstorm warning only for this area, but wind gusts 60 miles per hour or greater.
And there's a little bit of shear just south of Hyden in Leslie County as well.
All right, we'll take a look at that. Now, granted, this is with Jackson's radar, so it's probably going to look a bit different. But yeah, as Jordan pointed out,
right over US 421 there.
Yeah. All right, let me zoom into that. So you see that spot right there. There's Asher, which is US 421, just as Jordan was mentioning. Let me extend out a little bit so you can kind of see Hyden. So here's Hyden, and the latest scan, it just kind of disappeared a little bit, but it's not far from Asher. Here's US 421. This is the southern part of Leslie County, sticking the radar image on there. And that makes sense because you see it kind of jutting out in this area right here. So maybe bowing out, or we could have a little bit of rotation right there near Asher. So I'm sure the Weather Service is probably watching that, because notice when I take the radar data off and then put the shear on, that's where the rotation detector is at least picking up on a little bit of spin. And if anything, let's see what the regular velocity, yeah, you've got some reds and greens, probably broad, but nevertheless, it's clearly picking up on it. So this area east and southeast of Hyden, down toward Everett, down toward Harlan, and of course Pineville and Middlesboro. We got about 5 more minutes to go here with the tornado warning. So you see the intense rainfall that we have: Pineville, Ferndale, Middlesboro, Kettle Island. This area all under a tornado warning. 4 more minutes till the top of the hour, and I'm sure the Weather Service in Jackson will let us know here shortly whether they're going to continue to kick that eastward. And we were talking about northern Tennessee there, Campbell County, and eventually over into Claiborne County. They've got a severe thunderstorm warning, but that part of it looks like it's the most intense, and that's out of Jackson's radar. And here's Morristown, which is closer. Yeah, look at that and how sharp that line is. So that's probably definitely kicking out some intense wind gusts, probably greater than 60 miles per hour. But let me zoom in a little bit closer here. So there's Middlesboro, Binghamton, Meldrum, Colmar. Heavy rain. There's Ferndale. Check the shear on that. Yeah, how about that? So Colmar, Hutch, which is just northeast of Middlesboro on the eastern edge of the tornado warning polygon, which goes for Bell County. It looks like that's US 119 just south of it. So Ferndale, it's east of you now. Meldrum, it's east of you. There's Cumberland Gap, there's Middlesboro. So again, it is getting right to the outer edge here, and then you're over into Southwest Virginia with Wheeler and Gibson Mill and Kaler. That's over into Virginia. So it's literally about to cross out of Bell County and kind of hug the Harlan County line with it being late. I think that's Dickinson County, I believe, in Southwest Virginia. So again, the Colmar area, there's your shear, there's your possible rotation. This is out of the Morristown radar, which is in northeastern Tennessee. Looking at the velocity data, you see some reds and greens side by side, but again, it's good to use our technology with a rotation detector, and it's at least still showing some in that area. But this thing is going to skip eventually and probably again hug the border with Kentucky and Southwest Virginia. Like literally, here's northern Tennessee, here's that small sliver of Southwest Virginia, and then here's Harlan County. And the tornado warning is Bell County here for about another minute. And then you see some decent shear down here in northern Tennessee, Campbell into Claiborne County. Again, that's of course out of the viewing area. But
some decent just south of Hazard too now.
Okay, we'll take a look at that. I'll switch back. Let me switch back over to Jackson. With that, there's your radar. And then we will extend things back out. So yeah, I mean, all up and down this line in Kentucky, into Southwest Virginia, and into East Tennessee, it looks like all the way down to Knoxville, they have severe thunderstorm warnings out. But yeah, as Jordan mentioned, pretty good, pretty intense leading edge there. So
yeah,
it's on
and there's
top
a little
of Hazard.
notch showing up on Jackson's velocity as well, just recently.
Just south of Hazard.
Yeah,
I was just, well, you can kind of see it on the reflectivity here almost. Right here in this area.
Yeah.
So this little notch right here, got a notch there, and clear that off. And then we'll take a look. Yeah, well, let's just look at the velocity data first. Right in there. Let's do the storm relative, same thing, and then the shear, there it is. So here's your little spin, possible rotation, which is Jeff, Viper, Dow. That's south of Hazard there in Perry County. Here's Hazard, here's Kentucky 15. So just near Viper, Cornetsville, Vico, it's off to your southwest, but all this is moving eastward. So there's your radar image, and you see the little notch there, and this is where we may be catching some rotation just south of Hazard. And again, downtown Hazard, westward out toward Airport Garden, west out toward Buckhorn. Again, torrential rain, very, very heavy rainfall, and not a whole lot of lightning in it. We've got lightning on, but I don't really see a lot of lightning strikes. But
they did expire the tornado warning for Bell County.
So the tornado warning is all clear in Bell County, so we're good there. No issues with that. But our rotation detector really showing, well, it's showing a little bit of rotation there at Viper, and then it looks like off to the southeast still of Hyden. We were mentioning that, but we'll go in a little bit tighter here. So basically, if you're around Dow, around Viper, looks like Fusonia, Cornetsville, Defiance, there's Jeff, Kodak, especially that area of Viper eastward into central and southeastern Perry County, just to the south of Hazard. So as I broaden it out, so here's Hazard up at the top, it's off to the southeast. Stick the radar back on there. It's that little notch that we have just right here in this area here, if I can get the thing to highlight. Just right here in, try it for a third time's a charm. Right here in that area, right there.
The Whitesburg mesonet, Kentucky mesonet, up to 77. So there's a lot.
Yeah, so you got a lot of warm, moist air. We mentioned the low-level jet stream, a few thousand feet up. It's a great transporter of warmth and moisture, and it intensifies at night, especially in this type of setup. So this is what we've been concerned with all night long as the squall line of storms moves through, and it's been most intense in southern Kentucky. It's had a history of producing some wind damage in several locations, not only back toward Lake Cumberland, around London, Corbin, but also farther north. We had some wind damage reports, a tree on a house, Waco, just east of Richmond in Madison County. There, Mercer County, not far from Bergen. So it's created some issues. So the reflectivity updating there a little bit. We'll take another look at the shear, still right over the Viper area. You're just under a severe thunderstorm warning, but again, with this type of setup, at any time you can get a quick spin up of a tornado. Even looking down here north of Harlan, looks like there's a little bit of a little notch, or maybe even a little segment of it that's trying to bow out a little bit, and that can create some straight line wind damage as well. So the areas that still have the greatest concern for possible wind damage and an isolated spin up of a tornado would be Whitesburg, Cumberland, Everett, Harlan. Everywhere else, we should be in pretty good shape at this point, because going farther off to the north here, let me kind of work our way back. So Prestonsburg, Paintsville, none of this is severe, or at least it is really, really weakened out, because this is not far from the radar. So it is approaching the US 23 corridor. It'll eventually get down toward Pikeville. But the most intense part of this is just southeast of Hazard, and then running down across extreme southeastern Leslie County. It'll catch southeastern Perry County, and then eventually run into Letcher and Harlan County, just right there along the Kentucky-Virginia border. So severe thunderstorm warnings go until
Till
3:30.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3:30 for Letcher, 3:30 for Harlan. So, given the fact that the tornado warning has expired, we're a little after 3, and this is getting toward the outer edge of the viewing area, and we've been on for a couple of hours here, giving everybody a heads up, and we're only a couple of hours until Good Morning Kentucky starts.
Yeah.
As of course Dylan's here, and Jordan's been here since the afternoon, and basically so has Dylan. So they've had a long day of it. We will keep a close eye on this as it moves out of Bell and Leslie and Perry counties into Harlan and eventually Letcher County. Leading edge of that, it's coming up on Harlan. Under a severe thunderstorm warning until the bottom of the hour, potential of 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts or greater. But obviously, if we get any tornado warning during that window, we will cut in and keep you posted. But the rest of the area, pretty much sounding the all clear with the severe weather threat as we head through the early hours of this Memorial Day. Again, Good Morning Kentucky coming up at 5 a.m., a little less than 2 hours. We'll continue to keep an eye on this stuff. And again, if we get any tornado warning for either Harlan or Letcher County, we will cut back in and let you know. Otherwise, sleep well, all clear for the rest of central and eastern Kentucky. And we will see you back here on ABC 36 beginning at 5 a.m.